What's up, my fellow Remnant 2 gamers? Welcome back to the channel. It's D-Werewolf Gaming back with another Remnant 2 video. Alright, I hope everybody has been doing well and staying safe. Today, guys, I want to bring you a video focused on using the Royal Hunting Bow. This bow is pretty fun, but I do believe I enjoy using all the bows in this game. With that being said, you know, it's been a while since I made a video using a bow, so I wanted to showcase this build right here. And guys, a lot of times in my builds, you know, I like to change out show you different archetypes just to show you that you don't necessarily have to use the same archetypes that I'm using, or classes, if you want to call it, with these particular builds to make these builds still work. With that being said, I want to give a big thank you to everyone who continues to support me on the channel and those who always have something positive to say. I really appreciate each and every one of you, especially those who take time to give me a thumbs up and a comment. Alright, guys, and for this boss right here, just to show you that other archetypes do work very well with this build, I decided to use the Hunter and the Gunslinger. And most of you already know, guys, those two classes are designed to dish out damage. And as you can see, fighting this boss here, guys, I am going to be dishing out quite a good bit of damage on her as well. So ultimately, it's which way works best for you. And another thing I do enjoy using ever since they released it in the second DLC was the Zero Divide Amulet. That amulet gives you infinite ammo for those of you who may be new to this game and don't have that particular amulet. I do enjoy using that amulet on a lot of my builds, guys, because I don't really like worrying about my ammo too much. But of course, ultimately there are other amulets that would have worked just as well with this build. This is just what I choose to use in my particular gameplay. It's usually whichever works for you in your particular gameplay. I'm just showing you whatever I am using when I'm playing this game. Alright, so basically, as soon as we finish with this boss right here, we will go over the build breakdown. And I do want to mention, guys, that I felt like using the Invoker with the Hunter was more fun because, you know, you get the double skill charges. So ultimately, you'll be using the Shrouded ability a lot more often when you choose that route versus using the Hunter with the Gunslinger. Alright, so we basically in this boss fight. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Let's get ready to go over the build. The build and the class that I would have preferred to use the most. Alright, the Invoker to get the double base skill charges, and it also reduces skill cooldown by 10%. I did use the way of Kaeula, guys, just basically apply that drench, slow the movement of the enemies, and also apply some sort of AoE effect, which it shocks those enemies every few seconds. Alright, the Soothsayer on relic use, it extends the duration of the Invoker skills by 20%. Mind and Body increases movement speed by 5% and damage reduction by 5%. Chameleon reduces skill cooldown by 1% and heals 2% max health once every 3 seconds. And all of this is while the Invoker skill is active. Entrench increases skill damage by 30% and elemental damage by 15% and elemental crit chance by 5%. I did use the Hunter Shroud ability. Basically, you become shrouded, reducing enemy awareness and making them harder to hit, actually. And guys, you apply ambush. This increases range and melee damage by 50%, which diminishes over its duration. And it also applies a mark, which increases critical chance by 10% to enemies that are marked. Alright, Deadeye gain 40% range damage, 15% weak spot damage, and 5% range crit chance. Alright, Return to Center kills due to weak spot and critical hits, increase ammo drop by 50%. Urgency, firearms gain 15% reload speed and 15% increased movement speed after a kill. And last, Intuition, using the relic basically extends the duration of your hunter skill, so make sure you're using your relic to keep that hunter skill going a little bit longer. Alright, wear the armor you prefer. I did use the Tranquil Heart in this build for the passive health regen, and whenever you use the relic, it doubles the health regen. I did use range crit damage, 20% mod skill cast speed, and 10% skill cooldown. But if you wanted more range damage, you could have used the 15% weak spot damage as well. Ultimately, it's whichever works best for you. The Royal Hunting Bow is amazing, guys. Basically, and I did pair this with the corrosive rounds. And whenever you use that, guys, it applies acid and corrosive, dealing 2070 damage over 40 seconds. And I did use the Supercharger Mutator to increase charge speed by 30%. And at level 10, it gained 15% critical chance. Alright, your melee weapon did not really matter, but I did use the Crow Axe to be able to apply shock and corrosive. Alright, and the Nebula, guys, is just a staple in any build, in my opinion. You apply those nano swarms, it attack the enemies doing damage, debuffing those enemies, allowing you to do more damage. And I did pair that with the feedback mutator to get passive regen, and also get you get mod back on damage as well. Alright, Feather Binding to increase charge speed. Archer's Tress Ring as well to increase charge speed of bows. I did use Timekeeper's Jewel to allow those status effects to last a little bit longer. Now, sometimes I do use other rings in my build. Like, for example, if I want to mod back quicker, I would use the Kaeula's Jewel to get mod power generated. And I do like the haste, guys, because it increases, Anastasia's is inspiration because it gives you haste whenever you got some sort of healing, guys. And when haste increases the actions of everything you do. So I go, like I say, depending on the bosses I'm fighting, guys, I often go back and forth from the rings I'm using at that given moment. Alright, I did use the Burden of the Rebel. This reduces relic use speed by 25%, but also reduces skill cooldown by 15%. Alright, Legacy Protocol. This reduces skill cooldown by 20% and increases skill duration. And I did use the Zero Divide Amulet as well for the infinite ammo and increasing range damage by 15%. Alright, your traits, it did not really matter. Use whichever traits work best for you. And you know, for those who are not familiar, the gunslinging class is all about you basically get increased fire rate, range damage, and critical hit chance. Overall, that increased fire rate is pretty good whenever you're fighting bosses on Apocalypse. Gifted comes automatically on the Invoker. Long Shot comes automatically on the Hunter class. At 10 points in Triage, 10 points in Regrowth. At 10 points in Affliction, guys, keep that status effect on these enemies longer. Had about 5 points in Fortified, improve armor effectiveness. 2 points in Swiftness so I can move a little bit faster. I did have 10 points in Spirit to get my mods back faster. 10 points in Expertise to get skills back faster. I had AoE, Amplitude to increase AoE and Aura by 50%. I had 10 points in that. 10 points in Sakar to allow the mods to last longer. If you like the build, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for your valuable time. D Werewolf out.